It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, it's showtime. I hope everybody had a great weekend. The Geno Jones Show. How we doing? You had a good weekend? It's a brand new day. It's a brand new week. We're about 8 days away from a brand new month. Halloween is a week from today. You ready for that? All right, the Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago. Or maybe you're up in Milwaukee or Minneapolis or St. Louis or Memphis or Houston or New Orleans. Out on the West Coast, Los Angeles, as they call it, the city of angels, Los Angeles. They really don't call it Los Angeles. Some folks. Or maybe the Bay Area, up in Portland, Oregon, with my firstborn, my daughter, and my son-in-law in Brooklyn, the Bulldog, or maybe up in Seattle. It is with the Seahawks. What's going on with the Seahawks? Shout out to Geno Smith, my namesake, brother repping in the quarterback position. Who needs Russell Wilson when you got Geno Smith? I'm like shocked. I'm like, really? Wow. That's the power. That's the power. Just a small example. I know, follow me, go with me. It's an example of a young man that said everybody counted him out. No, he said everybody wrote him off, but he didn't write back. As a matter of fact, he trademarked it. He said everybody wrote me off, but I didn't write back. And I love that. That means that he bet on himself and he believed in himself. That's really my theme for today. You got to believe, all right? So Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. You and everybody you know and don't know, everybody that you like, that you love, that you ain't too crazy about, that you can't stand, hate, strangers, aliens from outer space. I hear that. So the government, they got like a little I guess they formed some governmental body to kind of track all these UFOs supposedly they've been seeing. That's a whole different show. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones YouTube channel right here. My guest is South Carolina State Representative Krystle Matthews, running to be our next United States Senator. I'm speaking that into existence. She is running up against the incumbent Tim Scott. I ain't got to say nothing else, right? So here in South Carolina, early voting began today. It also began today in Texas and Arkansas and Colorado and Idaho. So, but right here, South Carolina, early voting started today, 8:30 until 6. So that's going to be starting today through Saturday, this Saturday, October 29th. Then early voting will resume Monday Monday is Halloween, October 31st. And it'll go through November 5th. That following Saturday, 8:30 a.m. till 6 p.m. Now, like Representative Matthews told me, I think it's scvotes. Well, she'll tell you the exact website. You can go also, whatever county you live in, your Board of Elections in the county you live in, they have a website. Now, here in Charleston County, for the most part, there have been a location. The Charleston County Board of Elections is on a street called Headquarters. And for many years, you could go early vote at the actual Board of Election headquarters. Well, that's a little different this year, all right? They changed up. They called it audible. So if you live in Charleston County, South Carolina, and you plan to early vote, and you're thinking about going to the location of the Charleston County Board of Elections headquarters where you normally went to on Headquarters Street, don't go there. Go to the North Charleston Convention Center. If you live in West Ashley, there's a church, Seacoast Church. If you live in Mount Pleasant, there's a Mount Pleasant Seacoast Church, big church on Long Point Road. If you live on James or Johns Island, the public library in James or Johns Island. If you live in downtown or near downtown Charleston, the main public library downtown, you can go and vote there. And if you live in Hollywood, St. Paul's Library, once again, today, they just closed. They closed at 6 o'clock, early voting hours, 8:30 until 6 o'clock. So without any further delay, ladies and gentlemen, I am bringing to you South Carolina State Representative. I'm speaking it into existence. Our next United States Senator from the great state of South Carolina. You see her on the screen. The jacket, look, the red jacket is popping. She got her name on it there, matching her glasses, the frames, and then she's rocking the cold-blooded cut. Shout out to your barber because he hooked you up. State Representative Krystle Matthews. Welcome, Representative Matthews, back to the show. How are you?
Thank you, Geno. I am doing fantabulous, and my Dallas Cowboys been pulling through, so we're doing real good over here. We're doing real good.
Man, Rep Matthews, you family. You know, come on, you like a sister. I got love for you like I love my sister. Why don't ruin it for me by mentioning.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not rooting against them. At least it ain't Shady Brady. You know, I can even kind of tolerate the Cowboys, but yeah, that dude. You know, listen. How many times on this show, everybody that's watching me, I've told you, karma is real. You don't have to believe in karma. You don't have to believe in nothing. You don't have to believe in God. But karma will catch up with you. The energy that you send out into the universe, it is yours. And eventually, that energy has to return to its original source. And that is you, good or bad. So I'm just saying, TB12, I'm saying, but I'm not saying. But I digress.
Well, I'm putting out some senatorial karma out there. The karma that I have put out so far has been that of a servant leader, and I'm hoping that karma comes back to me 100-fold on November 8th. I need everybody out there. If you go to scvotes.org, throw your county in, find out where your early voting locations are. They are not always the same as where you typically vote on election day on November 8th, which is 2 Tuesdays. So just please go to scvotes.org and look up your locations. Thank you, Geno. I appreciate you and everyone else who is pushing this to make sure that people know what they need to do and where they need to go. Voter education is such a big deal. We cannot take it lightly.
Now, what would you recommend anyone do? Maybe someone, they've gone to that website, found out that for whatever reason that their registration doesn't show up. Yes, a lot of times people vote in the same locations, and all of a sudden on election day or maybe early vote, they get there and they'll say, well, we don't have your name here on the rolls. So there's some tips, advice you would give?
I would tell them to vote a provisional ballot, have them give you a provisional ballot and vote that way. That way, in case something, when it gets cleared up, your vote is already in. But then do that and also contact your local board of elections and make them help you get through the issue. Don't just take a little flitty answer, because sometimes people will brush you off. You want to make sure they help you resolve the issue and get to the root cause of what's going on.
So you have been on the road, you've been on the grind. You've gone to, I believe, how many counties do we have? Have you gone to like every county here in South Carolina?
So we got 46 counties, and I have been through all 46 counties. Meeting with their party affiliation sometimes is a little harder, right? Because they have it on a certain day of the week. But I have definitely been through every county here in the state, and I've been burning up the road. Lord knows my body is tired, but it's the work for the people that keeps me going. Geno, listen, you know I don't love anything more than finding out stuff that goes on behind the scenes and sharing it with my people and letting them know how the game really works. And so for me, the love of serving is always there. Campaigning is the part for me that is not the most glamorous, but it's a necessity, right? So I'm excited about this week. I'm excited about early voting opening up today. Everybody's shooting me text messages, tagging me on Facebook with their stickers. I see you got your sticker on, and man, I'm so excited. I mean, it's a little overwhelming when it's like you've been working for something for so long, and then it finally is here, and you're like, oh, we're here now. So I'm excited about this week. I hope people really get riled up and go out.
Well, I'm excited for you, and from the smile and just the energy that I'm receiving in your spirit, that you've been received very well. And one of the many things I admire about you, you've gone to every county. So that means you've gone to counties to where the majority of the voters may not necessarily typically vote Democrat. But, at the end of the day, we may vote Democrat, Republican, or independent. But at the end of the day, we are humans. There's a sense of humanity that connects all of us.
Listen, y'all better leave them titles alone. Them titles won't get you nothing but a title. You better pick your candidate based on what you know about them, what you've seen about them. Go to their site, figure out where their position is on the issues. It doesn't matter if you don't like their clothes. It don't matter if you don't like their accent, the way they talk. What you want to know is, are they fighting for the same thing that you're fighting for? At the end of the day, that's all that matters.
And speaking of fighting, I'm sure you want to, if we let you do the elevator pitch, because I know you literally campaigning and a mom, so you got mom duties and candidate duties. So I appreciate you jumping on. So for those who may be new to the show, or maybe y'all been under a rock, or in a coma, or up in space with Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, and they want to know, what do you plan to do for the people of South Carolina? What are the top 3 things that you want to address once you have reached the U.S. Senate?
So biggest difference between me and Tim Scott is that I'm fighting for any resources that will help the people here. They want to cut Social Security. I do not. And they want to starve off public education. I do not. A lot of people don't have a choice. They don't have transportation. They don't have the means to pay for private schooling. I want to make sure we deal with our food deserts. I want to tackle immigration. And when it comes to the economy, we keep talking about the economy, but damn it, I raised 5 kids in my house as a single mother. I know how to balance my money. And so what we need to do is tighten our belt. Americans are spoiled, and we're so used to getting everything we want. But, sometimes you got to tighten your belt and get in the grind. That way you can actually make some progress and prioritize what you need to prioritize. So I'm going to be fighting to make sure these things reach the top. And then definitely, I don't want to leave out credit score reform. I know I'm the only candidate talking about credit score reform, but for so many working families, credit scores are either a barrier or a hindrance to generational wealth, and whether you can acquire a home, a car, or even the cost of your health insurance and things like that. So I want to make sure that we're really doing things that touch working families and not leaving options and opportunities on the table that we really could have taken advantage of.
So if you want to support Representative Matthews' campaign, if you want to learn more, they can follow you, or they can go ahead and support you at what website?
MatthewsForSenate.com. They can go to MatthewsForSenate.com and they can contact my campaign there. They can donate there, volunteer there. They can find out my stance on the issues. There's a drop down for each one, and you can click through them and easily read. I didn't do 10,000 paragraphs because I wanted people to really just kind of be able to click through pretty quickly. So yeah, please go to MatthewsForSenate.com. Follow me on Facebook at Matthews for Senate, on Twitter at KM for Senate, and on Instagram at Matthews for Senate as well.
And I just want to say, on your way out the door, this is to the viewers. Confidence and belief is half the battle. So for those who may be like, oh man, it's tough. It's a red state. And this is a black woman. She's brilliant. But listen, you can't worry about what other folks may or may not do. But if you believe, and if you put that belief in action, you've got a lot of power. You got more power than you think. As a matter of fact, there are people that know you got a lot of power and are hoping that you don't wake up and realize and utilize and implement that power. It can happen. It absolutely can happen. If you believe it, and if you believe it with all your heart, and if you put the action and the energy with the belief and reach out to everybody you know, like you spreading the word, if you was going to the Essence Festival or the Super Bowl, you would stand on top. Girl, we going. Well, that's she need.
Exactly.
Representative Krystle Matthews, Senator, I believe in the power of positive thinking and speaking. My grandmother taught me, said, Jeannie, name it and claim it. Speak it into existence. My mother's saying the
Yes.
same thing right now in my live chat room.
Yes.
U.S. Senator Krystle Matthews, thank you for your time. And you've
Thank you
always
so
got
much.
a home here. So day before election day, feel free to come back and any message you want to get out to the public. Thank you again for your time. Say hi to the family.
Will do.
Thanks.
Bye, Geno.
Thank you. All right. Listen, you've seen her on my show many times. Brilliant. That's the main theme that I want to kind of wrap up because my monologue, I usually do my monologue at the beginning, but I'm really kind of doing it now. And today my theme is, you got to believe, man. And I don't use man in the gender specific, just in general. You got brothers and sisters of all races. Because I keep telling you all, this whole race thing, this whole concept of whiteness and white nationalism or white supremacy, and there's nothing supreme about hatred. It was created to oppress all of us, basically. It was created so a small handful of people could control the social, economic, and political power. Not just here in America, but globally. I'm just going to give it to you straight, no chaser. I'm giving you the Bacardi. I need to invoice Bacardi. Y'all need to make me y'all brand ambassador. Back in the day, my neighborhood, they would drink. You'll hear folks say, I'm going to drink, give me that Bacardi 151. Not the 80 proof. Give it to me. Give me that Bacardi straight. No chaser, no Coca-Cola, no ice, no, not on the rocks. I'm giving it to you straight. Don't vote against your own economic interest. Think about it. Think about who wants to take away your Social Security? Who wants to take away the Medicare? Who wants to take away the Medicaid for poor and working families? Who does not want people to be able to get their insulin for just $35 a month? Who wants to empower this violent, racist hatred, this white nationalism that stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, that threatened to kill us? That's why I said, just think about this whole concept of white nationalism. They wanted to kill everybody, including those domestic terrorists. The vast, like 90+% were white, but they went to kill other white people who don't buy into this madness of white nationalism and anti-blackness and anti-Semitism and religious bigotry and homophobia and misogyny and sexism. Because that hate, it will come for you, to my white brothers and sisters. Please understand that. And they've used this hatred, this whole concept of whiteness. They've used it to divide us. It's like catnip. They know. They wave the flag. Whoa, they're coming for your jobs. Who is coming for your jobs? You know who's coming for your jobs? Some people that look like you, that sit up in a boardroom or have a huge Zoom or Teams meeting and decide, well, it's going to be a recession. Well, let's see here. Well, these CEOs, they're not taking a pay cut. So what are they going to do? They'll lay off the workers. Why is it that when poor and working class people got assistance, the COVID assistance money, when the world was in quarantine, and that Americans got money that they needed because they couldn't go to work, and many of them lost their jobs. Companies fired and laid off millions of people. Now all those jobs have come back. And in many cases, they've come back with a raise. Who does not want there to be a federal minimum wage of $15 an hour? Which in most cities you really can't, unless you're single. Maybe you can live off $15 an hour. You damn sure can't live off, you know what the federal minimum wage is today? $7.25 an hour. That's criminal. That's a joke. So who wants to keep the federal minimum wage low, and who wants to make a federal minimum wage of at least $15 an hour? At least it really should be about $25 an hour, especially now. Shout out to President Biden. Gas prices are going down. Unemployment is still pretty low. People are still shopping. They're still buying. I'm not seeing empty shelves. I go to the supermarket too much. I don't see any empty shelves. The shelves are stocked. So, yeah, I don't have a problem. You know what? There was a time you couldn't find chicken. People that love meat, they couldn't find meat. They couldn't buy chicken or chicken wings. I had a hard time. There was a moment where, getting seafood, but chicken was really the thing, because, you had these chicken plants in America. I go to the supermarket. You can get all the chicken you want. You can get all the meat you want. You can get all the fish you want. So just ask yourself, we talk about inflation. So why are these food companies, who's raising the price? Is there a political motive behind that? Sure it is. I'm going to give it, like I said, I'm giving it to you straight, no chaser. Like my grandfather and brother Joe Madison, Sirius XM, I got to shout him out too. Because Joe Madison had a wise grandfather like I did. Put it where the goats can get it, Jeannie. Make it easy for everybody to understand. Everybody doesn't have master's degrees and bachelor of fine arts degrees and went to fancy universities. Put it right there where everybody can understand it. Who wants to make sure that you can start getting those child tax credits that you were getting, that you needed? Anywhere from $250 to $300 a month. It made a huge difference. It took like 40% of children out of their families out of poverty. So now you want people that don't want that to come back, that want to eliminate public education. Really? You want to eliminate public schools? So you got millions of people. I just need to click something right here, if y'all don't mind. So you got millions of people who can't afford to send their kids to private school. Hell, they can barely afford to send them to public school. Put them on a school bus or take public transportation. Who wants to reopen or open hospitals in these rural areas, or as we would say as kids in Chicago, living in Chicago, we had relatives in Mississippi or Arkansas or Alabama, down south, down the country. Because you got rural areas, not just in the South, but all over America. And these rural hospitals are closing. Why? Because you got a lot of these governors with the MAGA mentality. They don't want to take money, federal money that was given to them, that was going to be given to the state through the Affordable Care Act, to keep these hospitals open and give people, these poor working class people in these rural, small country towns and rural areas that lost a lot of jobs and industry. People in a lot of these small rural towns, they got to travel 100, 200 miles to get to a doctor. So who wants to reopen or open those hospitals? And who are the people that's talking about closing more of these hospitals? See, they do it. They don't really talk about that out loud too much. They just do it. Do you want to live in a society where every vote counts, no matter who you vote for? Do you want to pick the people to represent you, or do you want a small handful of people to pick who they're going to represent and screw and say to hell with everybody else? Think about, who is it You got people trying to fight now to block the $10,000 to $20,000 in federal student loan debt being canceled. Why? Why? Help as many people as you can. And if for people that, if you were blessed enough or fortunate enough to be able to pay your loan, don't hate on somebody that couldn't. Because you were blessed. Maybe you were just born into a family that had the money. I don't care who you are. There's nobody on this planet. I don't care from the richest billionaire to the average working class man or woman that's going to a 8:30 to 5 or 9 to 5 or 7 to 3. At some point in your life, all of our lives, somebody gave us a break. Somebody believed in us enough to even hire us. Or that gave us an opportunity, that gave us a break, that helped us where we could get, if nothing else, gave you the knowledge and the wisdom. As the kids say on the streets on the south side or the west side of Chicago, put you up on game. That means they taught you, gave you some wisdom or knowledge or guidance or direction, or maybe invested in you financially, even if it was a small investment that launched your career, your business, just launched you personally. So I don't care who it is, nobody does this alone. If somebody tells you that, oh, I'm so great, I did all this by myself, they lying. It's bullshit. Nobody achieves a level of success or greatness all by themselves. Somebody poured into you. Somebody believed in you. At some point, somebody gave you a shot, or at least they didn't get in your way, and they saw your brilliance and your talent, and they blocked you because they were intimidated by your greatness. Oh yeah, that happens too. Sometimes you can be so great and brilliant, people get intimidated, and they block you or hate on you or try to throw interference, make it difficult for you. Because they are afraid to compete with you. They are afraid that you're going to outshine them. And to those people, I say, you know what? You have a dimmer switch. You control the dimmer switch in your life. So don't worry about my light being too bright. Turn yours up. And if it ain't bright enough, then find you some new light bulbs to put in there so you can make your light brighter. Don't worry about my light, because I'm always going to put in the work to make sure that my light shines as bright as possible. To be the best version of yourself. Believe candidates like Representative Matthews can be the next U.S. Senator. You didn't believe that Barack Obama could be president. Think about that. Damn near 20 years ago. 2008. Not quite, think about it. Not quite 20, but who believed that? 2008, we're in 2022. We have a black woman as vice president. Who would have thought that? So you gotta believe. Always bet on yourself. Nobody can beat you being the best version of yourself. And confidence, I promise you, if you got enough confidence, you can bullshit your way through life. You can if you got enough confidence, now you can use it in an evil way, an evil, deceitful, selfish, hateful kind of way. And you know who I'm talking about. With his clueless, incompetent, you know what? But he's got these people believing and buying into the hatred and the bigotry and the misogyny and the sexism and the really self-hatred. They call themselves patriots and loving America, but they are, when it comes to, they vote for people who vote against their own best interest financially and health-wise. You got people who don't even have health insurance, can't even afford to go to a dentist. with half of their mouth don't have teeth, look like a jack-o'-lantern on Halloween. Supporting people who does not want them to get affordable health insurance, that wants to make it harder for them to get insurance that they can't even afford now. Think about that. Why would you support somebody who wants to make it harder for you and your family to survive financially? Man, y'all got to stop the MAGA cult watching, because I know y'all slip over here and watch the show just to get pissed off. I love it. But one day it's going to hit you that they're going to say, you know what, that Negro with his arrogant self, uppity Negro, don't tell him what I said. But what he's saying is making sense. These people that look like me that I keep voting for, and the policy decisions that they make, the laws that they pass. If you got a 10-year-old granddaughter or daughter or niece, you going to be okay with if somebody rapes her or somebody in the family rapes her and she gets pregnant, and you're going to force her to have a child? You're going to force her to carry the seed of the person that raped her? How do you think that's going to work out for her? How do you think she's going to be just the damage emotionally, mentally, spiritually? She will be just destroyed in so many ways. Why would you subject anybody to that? Man, this misogyny, this sexism, and this bigotry, this anti-blackness, this anti-Semitism. And then the bad thing about racism, you got folks who are black that engage in anti-blackness, that engage in worship at the altar of white nationalism. You got some Jewish folks that are anti-Semitism. I've learned that. I've had some Jewish buddies tell me, hey, dude, they ain't just black folks. It's not just you guys, okay? So this form of self-hatred comes in many forms. You got some in the gay and lesbian community that supported legislation that made their life difficult. And you got politicians that are supporting policies that want to make the lives for the gay and lesbian and trans and queer and bisexual community, make their lives more difficult. Come on, man. I'm going to close by saying this. I started off the show talking to Representative Matthews. You don't have to believe nothing else I say. Like my grandfather would say, keep living. But karma, I promise you, I don't just promise you, I guarantee you that karma is real. And the energy that you send out, the hatred, the bigotry, the violence, the anti-blackness, the anti-Semitism, the anti-immigrant hate, the anti-Muslim hate, religious bigotry in all of its forms, the homophobia, the transphobia, the misogyny, the sexism, all of that energy that you are just speedballing, sending out to the world like on an express train in Chicago on the Dan Ryan Expressway. That same energy of hate and bigotry, one day, is coming back home. It's going to come back to where it came from. And when it comes back home, woo! You ain't going to want it to come home, but you won't be able to do anything about it because it's yours. So instead of sending out the bigotry and hatred, send out compassion and love and empathy and humanity and understanding and patience. You'd be surprised how that energy will come back to you and benefit your life, or maybe the life of somebody that you love. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and especially you. And God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Subscribe, share, like, and binge watch all my back episodes, and tell everybody that you know. Wednesday, programming note. One of the true iconic members, I guess you could call them a group. Special guest Wednesday. R&B legends, icons. One of the biggest names in the history of R&B. Not just R&B. One of the biggest names in the history of music. Period. Be my guest. We're gonna have a conversation. They got some new music out. They're out on tour. So I'm teasing you. We call it a tease in show business. Tune in tomorrow. I'll tell you who. They'll be my guest live right here on the Geno Jones Show, Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Trust me, you don't want to miss it, so start spreading the word. Shout out to Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant of the Geno Jones Show. Check Allie out on Instagram. She is LX, like Lexi, extra, dot, N, like Nanette, C like Charlie, L like Lexi, underscore. That's LX.NCL_. Bruce Gage, also official wardrobe consultant of the Geno Jones Show, the Mario Uomo collection. There you go. You see right there, Mario Uomo collection. You can check him out on Instagram. Miglio D Mario Uomo. That's MIGILIODIMARIOUOMO. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. He is the CEO of Designer Cuts. I'll be in the chair tomorrow before showtime. You can check him out on Instagram. Kel be cutting up. KELBECUTTINUP. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday. Go back and binge watch all my back episodes. If you came in halfway into the show, go back and watch the entire show. You don't want to miss it. Once again, early voting began today in South Carolina. Today. And it will go from today to Saturday, 8:30 p.m. till 6, early voting. To find the early voting location, go to scvotes.org. scvotes.org. I'm pretty sure it's that. I don't think it's scvotes.com. But just Google scvotes.org and type in your zip code and get all the information you need. Or contact or go to whatever county you live in, not just here, anywhere in the country. Go to the Board of Elections website. Whoever handles, or the Secretary of State, like in Illinois, that handles voting, go to their official website. Get all the information you need. So until Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, as always, be blessed. Pray for peace. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.